Thanks everybody for coming. My name is Danny Rotter. I see some familiar faces out there. I'm the project manager for Carson City. I've got Jeff Dean, Will Morgan, and Harlan Sangre. With Q&D with me, I've got Mike Bennett from the design team. Darren Anderson is kind of my assistant at the city. Helps me. He's got his own projects going on, but I drug him in too to help me out. So later on, if we're here long enough, I'm going to have our construction manager and inspector here. They'll be the faces other than these guys that you'll see regularly. So just to give you an overview, they're going to go through how the construction is going to progress, how the traffic control is going to work. Water line first, medians, all those sorts of things. And then we'll talk about some of the resources that we've kind of put in place with emails and phone numbers, voicemails, live chat, those sorts of things. And then we want to hear from you, talk about your questions, your concerns. I really want you to feel like Q&D can help you out. They're going to be there in front of your businesses. They're going to be the ones knocking on your window and saying, hey, what's the best time to shut off your water to swap over this new water service? So those sorts of things. So I think a lot of you have asked those questions over time. We try to incorporate a lot of those concerns. And so maybe just to get a feeling, how many are business owners in here? Okay, and how many are property owners? Both? How many are just maybe general public interested in what's going on? Okay. All right, well, I'll give it over to Q&D, and they'll run through their stuff, and then I'll be back. Everyone see that a little bit better? Yeah, I'll read the text. Sorry about that. I'm Will Morgan with Q&D. Been part of the project and design since early last year. Just want to go through some of the construction phasing of this project. One of the first items right up top that we're going to be starting first is the water line construction, which goes right down the center of Carson Street. Starting Monday, that work will be getting going, and it's going to last approximately a month and a half. While we're going down center line of the roadway, shortly after we're going to start sewer main work, which it's unlike the water line, new sewer isn't consistently through the whole project, so our crews will kind of be jumping back and forth across the project. But as far as traffic control goes, at the beginning of the project, we're anticipating moving everybody onto one side of the street so we're able to work on the water line, make sure that cars are a safe distance away from our trenches and our equipment. Towards the end of March, though, we're going to get started with our sidewalk demolition, which is this line item here. Switch hands. Anticipating late March, early April to get started with the demo work. Our anticipation is starting on the west side of Carson Street and working our way from north to south and getting one entire side totally complete. We'll come around, come back down the east side. So the west side work will be commencing late March, and then new sidewalk pavers, landscaping will be starting first couple of weeks of April. Like I said, we're going to kind of split it in two phases as we go down. The east side work is anticipated to start early July. And it's anticipated to go through late September. Now, once we get done with sidewalks, you can see the item here. This is landscaping. It kind of runs the duration of the project from late April through the end. There's going to be lots of new trees, shrubs, grass, all sorts of stuff getting planted on the side streets. So that's
kind of going to be following behind our sidewalk and paver work on the side street, or on the sides of Carson Street. Third item from the bottom is the roadway reconstruction. So roadway reconstruction is going to be a 10-day window where we shut down Carson Street and fully reconstruct. And that's beginning in the early part of October to be complete to have Carson Street functional by the Nevada Day Parade. And then you can see this bottom line item, it's paver crosswalks that goes out past Nevada Day. So there are going to be crosswalks that are going to be completed on Carson Street and on the side streets. To get this work done, we need to do it after the paving is complete. So once we have the road paved and functional for Nevada Day, we're going to be coming back and constructing these paver crosswalks in November and December. And then finally, we have an item here, the 3rd Street Plaza. Work's anticipated to start late March, early April with the 3rd Street Plaza and going through mid-July.
July? Sorry.
So there's quite a bit of work and quite a bit of intricate work that is going to take place with 3rd Street with the new stage and shade structures. There's a new pop jet fountain that's going in there, so it's quite a bit of work in that small little space there. So that's kind of a breakdown of the overall schedule. If anyone has any questions on the schedule?
You said that the water and sewer work is gonna be done, those are the first two. And then you came back later and you said the roadway is gonna actually be done in a 10-day stretch. Is that kind of in far there?
Yeah, right here.
Right there. And, there's no plan B for weather?
So let me just, for the appeals purposes and for the recording purposes, can you identify yourself? Just where,
Maxine Needs.
Maxine Needs. Okay. What's that?
Max right now.
Okay. All right. So I'll let Will take the rest of the questions there. But if you do have questions, identify them so that we can make sure everybody knows who's going. So the roadway and you're having with the utilities. In between, done with utilities.
Done with utilities, and then you have other things, sidewalks and other pieces of the project that you redid. And then you do the roadway right up to the end of October to Nevada Day Parade. And my question is, what's the plan B for weather?
There are weather days built into the schedule. So we hope the weather cooperates with us, and we hope we can, it's our full intent to get it done in that 10-day window, but there is a weather delay contingent built into our schedule. And that's kind of built across the entire schedule itself. It's not built into that slot of just the roadway reconstruction. Because we have to anticipate incurring some weather delays in a project that lasts this long. I mean, luckily we're not starting in, we didn't start in December and get hit with all the snowstorms. So hopefully we end up with a lot of weather like this where it's sunny and 70 degrees.
And the other thing too, the roadway reconstruct that Will's talking about is going to be a 10-day operation. So that window there is a 3 to 4 week window to do a 10-day operation. So there's some of those that are allowed to slide in there, and that's what he's talking about, the weather contingency.
Okay, I just want you to know that for some of us, the Nevada Day Parade is more important.
Yes, and it is our full intention, and we will have the road functional by Nevada Day.
You heard it here first.
Yes, ma'am. Can you, yes,
Me?
yeah. Can you identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm June. I own Kama Coffee on Main Street. So 2 questions. One for clarification. You said that the road will be 2 lanes. It'll be on the far side. Does that mean like you're closing off the southbound and making the northbound 2 lanes while this construction's going on, or 1 lane on each side?
So there will be north and southbound traffic on Carson Street So there will be one lane each direction.
Yes, but is
But
it
it-
going to be all on the east side?
It's gonna start out on the east side, and then when we complete work on the west side of the sidewalk, traffic's
You're
gonna
gonna-
get pushed over, and then we'll be able to work
Okay.
on the west, or
Great.
on the east side with the sidewalk.
And my second question is just with all of this is going through into the summer and stuff, and we have this bike race that's coming to town, this big event that's downtown, and then we have the Taste of Downtown and the Jazz Festival. Are those things is that later in the meeting, or is that stuff being addressed of how we're going to navigate all of that traffic and hopefully extra business and stuff like that?
Yes, and especially Epic Rides.
Try that. Got to.
I'll let Danny kind of touch on it a little bit more, but Epic Rides has been one we've been discussing because it's coming up fairly quickly. And
Right?
we're working with Epic Rides in the city to coordinate, to make sure, you know, the space is there that Epic Rides needs for the venue, and, you know, we're not in the way.
Yeah, the construction manager and inspector that I was talking about, they're actually over at a meeting right now talking about timing and where we're gonna be. And the funny thing is the mountain bike race, they said, I don't know if was it close to that one? They said, yeah, if there's gravel and stuff there, as long as it's flat, we're good to go. So since it's mountain bikes, but we're coordinating all that with them.
Right, but being able to access the businesses and all the music and bands and stuff that's going on with it, like, so that people can come down to it. The bicyclers themselves may not care, but
Yeah,
everyone else might.
with that,
Yeah.
make sure it's access and cleaned up and safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Orange jacket.
Danny, I'm Jim Phelan, owner of the Firkin and Fox.
Hey Jim.
It's good to finally meet you. Danny's a great guy, by the way. I'm super excited about this whole thing. I think it's fantastic. I'm really excited to see it come down, and I know I've worked with Doreen and the guys for a long time trying to get this going through. I wasn't part of it the last couple of years, so I'm super excited about it. I got a couple questions for you. On 3rd Street, you said that you wanted to start it late March. Are you talking like the 20s, the 30s, you know, 30th of March, or are you talking like the 15th?
After St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you very much. Exactly what I wanted to hear. And then the second thing is, and you and I touched on this the other day, is that I did talk to supervisor about, and obviously they can't be here today because they have a supervisor meeting, but we do have some concerns on the stage, and she told me to relay to you all to get with her and other supervisors to see if we couldn't get some other opinions from, you know, stage designers and so forth, which we have quite a bit here in town, to see if there's an opportunity to do it a little bit differently. That back parking lot's been with the Firkin for 8 years, and you know, I'm already, you know, losing the back spot. Doug's here with me with Mama Pops. We actually agree on this together, and so if take more of the parking lot, but turn it so the entire city or the entire street gets an opportunity with the band and the stage, and then we also won't have to worry about having Kenny Furlong call me at night at 10:30 when the noise abatement, you know, from people on the west side are PO'd because of the sound. So,
He's not gonna call.
okay, he's just gonna calm down. Anyways, those are my 2 cents. Thanks for pushing out towards after the 17th, and I think I'm.
So basically, you and I, Danny, have talked about this since last year, the same exact conversation. So
Yeah.
if that stage is in the wrong spot, it's facing square.
There's a lot of things that have gone into that, but I think having John Procaccini sitting down with us, grab us all together, grab the BAC, make sure we're getting it good. We gotta do it quick, so I'm gonna call you both and see if I can sit you
Absolutely.
down.
And you know, and Doug's done it for umpteen years before me, and we did it kind of a little bit together, and I've done it for the last 6 or 7 years. So you got a lot of knowledge of what works and what doesn't work on the street right here, and we're the only ones that do any events on that street. So, you know, before you guys drop $1 million on the street, we'd like to have a little input, and especially with John Procaccini's help. I think it just, you know, you want to do it right the first time. That's it.
I've been saying the same thing since day one, Danny. So you're just louder than I am.
Charlie.
Charlie About from the Gals. You've got a construction mitigator. So the very first part of all this is going to be utilities, which gas and water are going to be part of it, okay? Some of us that, I'm obviously kind of, when you're not going to have gas and when you're not going to have water is going to be vitally important. And also mitigating the problems of having neither one of those other than the obvious, I can't cook my steak right now because I have no gas. But more importantly, everything goes down, so now you have to get somebody in there and make sure, everything gets relit. So you don't have gas once it turns back on, you don't have gas just floating around.
Oh, you call your fire department.
We're
Yeah.
not, Charlie, we're not
And
touching the
water
gas,
and
we're not
stuff like
touching the gas system unless we hit it on accident.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that before.
That's one of the things. So as far as water line tie-ins to existing buildings, when we're going down through and doing the water main down center line, they're just gonna be laying the pipe going down center line and stubbing the connection points out. As we come down with the sidewalk demo and construction, we're gonna start pulling those tie-in points to your building.
But there's not gonna be any long-term shutdowns, right?
And
Nothing.
what do you consider long-term?
No. Realistically, I'm on the outside, and so I have very little to say about all this. It's none of my business. But I'm just concerned not only for myself, but for everybody else that's down there, that if you don't have water for a long period of time, June's espresso machine's gonna be boiling away her water, and she has the potential of, losing a boiler, and there's any number of things. So the amount of time, or the projected amount of time that you're not gonna have water, I wasn't sure what you were gonna do on the gas line, are all really important to the operators to do the mitigating things like, okay, well, espresso people, we keep our espresso machines on 24/7 because how you wear them down is by turning them off and on. So my boiler's going on all the time, so if I don't have water for 5 hours, I got big problems. Now, that doesn't mean I can't turn them off, or June can't turn them off, or if somebody else can't turn them off, their boilers, but everybody needs to know, have a guesstimated time, how long you're not gonna have water.
And that's something that we're gonna be doing as we're coming down, especially with the water line tie-ins, with sewer connections, work out in front of businesses, is coordinating, especially with water line tie-ins, what, ideal window when we can shut it down, to give the business owner a heads up, saying, if they tell us between 9 and noon in the morning is an ideal time, okay, well, then we'll shut the water down, do the tie-in point, and get it turned back on. But we're gonna be coordinating with everyone to make sure that, to the best of our ability, we don't have a situation where the water system gets cut and there's boilers still running.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
The 10-day period,
Can you identify yourself?
oh, sorry, Andy Wilson, NAI Alliance. The 10-day or 20-ish day period that all of Carson Street would be closed, is that from 5th to William, or will there be crossing points?
5th all the way to William.
So how does somebody get to Perkins Fox and Tyvaso and Garibaldi's?
We're gonna be working with the city's traffic control and our traffic control people to make sure we have the proper detours and signage up to make sure people can get to where they still need to go.
There's no construction on Curry Street, right?
Not until 2018.
Okay, good. So that's open the entire time.
There is a water line service tie-in, so there will be a window of time where we have to be out in Curry Street to get that water tied in into 3rd Street for the fountain.
Okay.
But no, the Curry Street redevelopment or streetscape is not happening right now.
And one thing about the 10-day closure is we had an option to do a 4-week traditional reconstruct where you'd be bouncing everybody day to day through traffic control. And from a lot of you have said, you know, if it's going to be painful, make it quick.
Yeah.
And it also saves us money, so we're saving time and money. So it's going to be a, you know, painful 10-day marathon construction, but it'll be less than a 4-week reconstruction with a lot of impacts going over 4 weeks.
And you'll be paving then, so I'm assuming there's no pedestrian, we can't park, if we wanna get to Thai Basil, but we're on the west side of Carson, we can't run across the street after we park. No pedestrians on Carson Street.
There'll be places.
We will have designated areas where we'll potentially have a flagger to get people across the work zone.
But if there's a big giant mill with blades right there,
I
we're not gonna,
shouldn't.
you shouldn't cross that.
It moves slow, you can.
Okay, in the back again.
Could I request that, or make the request that on the detour signs that say like, okay, you're gonna go through Curry Street or over here, that you're also putting the names of businesses, that's how to get to the businesses that you would normally get to from Main Street or something like that? So,
And
so
that's
that there's,
something we're working with the city to put together is some signage details like that for detours like that.
okay,
We'll make sure it's comprehensive.
because it doesn't take much to discourage somebody from,
Right.
you know, it's like, I'm gonna go somewhere else, never mind. So if it's clear and it's beautiful that it says, hey, this is how to get to Kamakapi or Firkin or Bella Fiora or whatever on up, then they feel confident that they're going to get there.
Yes.
Okay.
One more thing I'll mention is that after maybe we're done with Q&A and schedule type stuff, we're going to be talking about a lot of different resources, and one of them is a live construction map, showing all those types of things too on the website, like a Google Map type thing. So
Something we can print out and have in our stores and stuff?
it'll actually be real live. You can zoom in and you can print it out every week if you want. Yeah.
But it'll be updated like, today, this is how you get to point A. And then tomorrow, this is a new route to get to point A.
Yeah, we're going to try and stick with a week look
Okay.
ahead, but we'll have the ability to change that if for some reason we got a weather, we got a water main break, or anything like that changes.
Okay.
So it's gonna change how to get to the businesses on.
No, we're gonna try and keep it the same as best as possible. That's why Will was talking about the lane shift to do the west side and then the lane shift afterwards. Is better to keep the traffic control consistent so that we're not changing it every day and having everybody go, well, I don't even know what's going on. If we can get it set and then, you know, be that way for a while, then it's a little bit easier. It's not changing so often.
So I understand you're gonna do the west side first, and you're gonna also pave the west side, and then open it, and then the east side?
It'll be the west side sidewalks, but not asphalt paving. That'll be all at the end.
That's, okay, that actually, so basically just the sidewalks.
Yes.
Just another question, I apologize. On 3rd Street, when you guys do this 4-month reconstruction, will people actually be able to walk on like the sidewalk? I mean, you guys are redoing the sidewalks too, but will they be able to walk to Charlotte, to Doug's, or from 3rd Street, or will they have to walk around, go down 4th and come around, or 2nd Street?
There's gonna become a point in time where we're gonna keep a path as long as we can up to both of your businesses. There's gonna come a point in time where we have to sock up what's there, pull it out so we can pour the new concrete and the pavers. But there will be some form of access to get to your businesses at all times.
Yeah.
Noreen, yeah.
Or Mark, go for it. Go
Arm
for it.
wrestle for it if you want.
I'm Doreen Matt, president of Downtown 2020 and owner of Lofty Expressions. I have a question, Danny. I'm not familiar with how the water and sewer lines work, but are these ran directly to the businesses from the center of the?
So the water main, which is a 8-inch pipe, goes right down the middle.
Okay.
Each of the water services are the smaller 3/4 inch, 1-inch pipe that then comes off and has a water meter in the sidewalk. So it's kind of a backbone and services off of that.
And so is each business responsible for updating the water lines within their building, or is it taken care of once it goes from the center median to their building?
We're bringing the water line to the right of way. So we're doing anything that's gonna be under new concrete will be new. So in the core is the front of the building, right up to the stoop. In the areas where the building's further back, thinking Bikesmith, we're gonna go right behind the sidewalk, back of sidewalk with new pipe. But between there and the building is the property owner's responsibility.
So for like Garibaldi's and Kai Basil, or the Basil right there, it goes right up to their building and then they're responsible for inside the building, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And when you start this process, does it start in the middle? What? Go ahead.
He was just gonna say, unless you wanted to replace all that water line, you wouldn't. We're just gonna connect to the existing.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna spend a lot of money to redo all your plumbing inside the building, we're just gonna connect onto the existing plumbing, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not gonna be off like pipes, that should be okay. As far as where you guys are gonna start this process, does it start in the middle of Main Street and go north and south, or are you gonna start at one end and move forward?
We're gonna start on the north end and move our way down to Fifth Street.
So it's starting on, is it Williams?
Yeah, so the tying point is right at the intersection of Williams and Carson, where we tie onto the existing water main. We'll come out, sweep it in the center line, and then work our way down to the south.
Okay. All right, and my only other question is communication. All of us have our different outreach and people who keep contact of places and areas that they look. So it's very important that during this process that everybody gets the information and we reach out to let them know what's going on. So that's my take. Thank you.
One thing, if you haven't got an email in the last week from us and you want to be on the email list, please bring me a card. Let's get a paper going. And we're going to do a weekly blast with we're going to call it the Downtown Home Zone. That's going to be in the Peel, and it'll have all the closures for the next week, anything that's changed, and then that construction map will also be having that. So make sure to come grab me and give me your email.
I'm gonna go ahead and get a piece of paper up here and I'll leave it here if you guys want to, address.
Email list. Why don't you just send it down?
Send it around.
Grab a pen, share some pens. Other questions on schedule, construction?
We have current moment a number of vacancies downtown. I know that if there's businesses that are operating, when you stub in the water, you connect to them. What about the vacant buildings? Are you also connect to what's there, whether they're, water is turned, their individual business water is turned on or not?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be making the connections to any of the vacant buildings. The vacant lots will be stubbing out, unless if there's already water service.
Buildings that are not occupied with business.
Yeah, so vacant buildings, we will be doing that as well. And then with vacant lots, we're gonna be stubbing out the service so that if somebody comes in, it's not tearing up the road later.
Bob Lampkin, Bob Shell, downtown Carson. This will be the third major street renovation that I've been here for. I've been here 38 years. The first time they did it in the daytime, and the business owners had an outcry over doing the whole street during the daylight hours. So the second time when I was here, they switched it over and did the whole thing at night, which appeased almost all of us. I'm wondering, your 10-day closure, is that something that's going to be daytime, nighttime, 24/7, or et cetera?
It's gonna be around the clock,
Thank you.
except for the paving. The actual 2 or 3 days where we're actually putting asphalt down, we have to do that during daylight hours, so we have temperatures to put it down, but the rest of the work to get the road ready will be 24 hours a day. Yeah, and then there is a cure time where you may see nothing going on because we have to let things cure out to get full strength. Yes, sir.
Fred Bulls, will Washington, Robinson, and Musser Streets be closed beyond the 10 days as far as crossing in a car or a truck across Carson Street?
As far as, so there's two other items that are gonna impact all of the cross streets is when we do the paper crosswalks. We have to do those in sections, but also when we bring the utilities, the water main, the sewer, when we bring those across those intersections, there will be times where when we're bringing the pipe through, we have to shut it down for a short time frame.
Do you have any idea how many days that's gonna be, or hours, or?
Yeah, 2-3 days for the utilities. When we're doing the crosswalks, it's,
We're not gonna put them both down, any two in a row at the same time.
yeah. No, and we're gonna take the intersections piece by piece. We're not gonna shut down Washington, Robinson, and Musser all at once. So there will be ways to get around it when, say, we're putting the pipe in Washington. So we're not planning on just closing access off to all of those streets or intersections. Yes,
Pete DeLillo, Carson Nugget. First of all, excited to see progress downtown Carson, because hats off. I know it's going to be difficult. Been through this stuff before. I'm sure you have all of our full support. Sounds like a great plan. My question is, have you guys done a year-over-year economic impact study to look at like car traffic by month, what we would be affected by?
You talking during construction or after or
Well, for your entire timeline, obviously October, it's going to be impacted greatly, right? Last year we had X number of cars. You guys have that data, and has there been a study done to say what we can anticipate the data for that month to be decreased by?
I don't think we have it by month because we usually do a yearly traffic count. I do know the last numbers were at about 16,000 cars a day, and the estimate when the freeway was done was going to be 14,000 cars a day. But I don't have a by month analysis like that.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is we all have budgets, we're all trying to forecast, schedule labor. There's times that we're going to be hit hard and times we're not. If you guys have any data on how the traffic's going to be affected by month, I think that could be very helpful to the business owners.
Okay, I know we have there's an existing traffic count station that NDOT maintains and does the yearly counts. I don't know if it's live all the time, but I'll look into that and see if we can pull that data monthly, or if they only just turn it on once a year to get that data on a yearly basis.
Anything would be helpful.
Okay. Write that down, Darren.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're, during especially that 10-day period, if you're rerouting people around like to Curry or whatever, are all the one-way streets, are those gonna be so they can come the opposite way? Like say 4th Street is one way and that's all my parking. Will people be able to turn down and park going the opposite direction? Otherwise, how will they get to me?
That's something we're looking into, is looking at the one-way streets and seeing if temporarily we can turn the parking around. So during those time frames, we can still allow some parking to be there. It may be just one half of the street, because since it's a one-way and neck down, cars can't back up and get turned around if you stack on both sides, but that's something we're looking into.
Danny, question is kind of towards you. Is there any type of marketing campaign that's going out, like the Nevada Appeal or CarsonNow.org, letting the community know that all of us businesses will be open during this construction period, and that to come down and patronize, that there will be access and so forth?
We talked about that a little bit with the chamber and the DBA, kind of business as usual, come down, support your businesses. One other thing we're going to try and do is with the live construction map, if the Carson Street entrance is closed but the 3rd Street entrance is open or whatever for your spot there, we would have that say, hey, impact here, but Firkin and Fox is open. Here's how you get there, here's where you can park. So that's the idea with the construction map is, and then with the weekly cone zone, in the appeal, well, we can have a link to that construction map. And then also with the chamber, the DBA, Visitors Bureau, and the rest of those Facebooks, websites, Downtown 2020, those different agencies, just having that consistent message of, hey, here's a construction map, here's the cone zone on carsonsroute.com, and be able to update that and get that information out.
Cindy Crowe with Northern Nevada Coin. So during that 10-day process of repaving the street, the sidewalk's going to be complete and open, so somebody can park at one business and walk down Carson Street on, I guess, one side. If they're parked on the right side, they can walk down like the west side if they're parked over there on the east side. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. The sidewalks will be ready to go. It'll just be between the curbs. Mark?
Obviously, you had us in March, you had us in April, and we had the hot scratch thing going on the east side and the west side. Everything was fluid up until October. And it seemed like when we hit October, obviously that's when a lot of the red flags went up. We've been kind of promised that the lanes would be open at all times for this entire process and most of the meetings that we've pretty much been to, and that the access to the business would be mostly a 24/7 throughout the entire process. I know in Reno that they've attempted to do it. I know in Las Vegas they've actually have been able to do that. But what would be the possibility of during that 10-day process, the city doing some sort of an underwrite as far as losses that the businesses are going to experience during that 10-day period? I know it's been done in Las Vegas.
I don't have that power.
So how do we start the process? But obviously you had us all the way up until October. You know what I mean? And we're all very excited about this happening, and we're all looking forward to the reward, and we're all very excited to be done. And we always realize that there's going to be, some temperamental situations throughout the process. But since we're going to lose the entire process, how do we get that started, or is it even a possibility?
I think, Michael, we grab Nick and see what he thinks.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I think we'll, Michael, you want to introduce yourself? Just raise your hand if you don't know Michael already.
Yeah, if you guys don't know me, Michael Solog, I'm the business development manager for the city, and Nick and I can sit there and chat about that. Mark, and let's talk afterwards a little bit more.
Thanks, Mike. Sure.
No problem.
So I'm just kind of curious, we're talking about shutting the road down for 10 days. I know they've come to us originally and said, would you want, like you said, it to go on for 4 weeks where you have at least traffic going by, or would you want it for the 10 days? And we said we wanted it for the 4 weeks. What percentage of the people here, or the business owners, said that the 10-day closure was the best idea?
I think it was a lot. I would say over 2/3.
Sounds like a lot of people here aren't real happy about the 10 days, so.
Well, again, one part of it was cost. A 4-week intensive paving operation and lots of changing traffic control is cost driven. And then also in our discussions in trying to keep people coming downtown is that changing traffic control every 2 days makes people just go, I'm just not going to go down there. So trying to keep it consistent through that part and then shorten that duration is what we're trying to do.
So there was a vote on this and everybody voted that was good?
We talked to...
When we went around all the business owners, we took everybody's comments into consideration, and Danny's right, I mean, it was overwhelming. Businesses that wanted shorter.
Danny,
Sorry.
when is this 10-day closure?
Sometime in October. I can't
We don't know.
tell you the exact date, but when it's coming and we're getting close,
Before Nevada Day.
we'll be hammering that all
Before
out.
Nevada Day.
And on Friday before Nevada Day.
It's going to be before
They have a couple comments about this. One is, I have been asked about some businesses wanting to close and take a vacation. At what time would this be good? That would be a good time. If the streets are going to be closed for that time and people want to close their businesses, that might be the window right there. The other is, and in the process of this along the way, we've had discussions about having a major grand opening of all the businesses of downtown. So the town's done, we're now going to really market, celebrate, the town's open, all the businesses are open, and make it one big party. So I think that's something that we all need to discuss, as this is going along, and put it out there. You can certainly get hold of us on Facebook. Huh?
Nevada.
Well, you're right, it is.
Even more special this
So
year.
we can, it will be, yes, so we can market the whole thing as that, good idea.
The chamber can just go all up and down with the scissors and the ribbon and.
Yeah.
just cut out some of it.
That's it, okay.
Money just chip. Okay. Any other questions? Concerns? Somebody's got one. One more. Okay. Let's talk about some of the ways. Doug, I knew it would be you.
So basically, on Fourth Street, so it's gonna go for 4 months, it'll be open in August, but the main street of Carson is still gonna be closed.
Correct.
Okay, July, August, whatever you finish.
Not closed, under construction.
Okay, one half will be, no, because,
It'll be one lane each direction. Carson Street will be one lane each
well, on the
direction.
west side, it's gonna be closed until you finish all the pavement and October. The sidewalks will be open.
The roadway will have one lane each direction.
Oh, all the way until October?
Until October.
Yes.
One final one, Gary Kane from West Oklahoma area. Assuming that all the weather works really great, you guys get all the sidewalk work done way ahead of schedule, is there anything to prevent you from doing the street paving before October? Or do you have to do it in October so that it's a rush? Or could you move it up, like, let's say everything gets done really great, and you move it up and to doing it, like September?
Yeah, if weather and work allow, and we're ahead of schedule, we want to get in and get it paved and get it. The earlier before Nevada Day we can get done, that gives, once we get it paved, there's still a lot of cleanup work that we have to do.
Right.
That gives us more time to have it fully open.
So if everything's working great and the suns and the stars are aligned, you'll be doing the work in September.
There is a potential for that if everything works in the favor of the project.
Want to follow up on a question that Doug asked about one lane in each direction. I believe you earlier said that one lane would be on either the west side only or the east side only. It won't be one lane on each side. In other words, where the median is today, there won't be traffic on both sides of the median. That location will be traffic on one side or the other.
Throughout construction, traffic will move back and forth on the existing road.
But it will be 2 lanes on one side, one north, one south. 2 lanes, one north, one south.
Sometimes it might get split.
It could get split depending on circumstances.
Just depending on where that water line lays out.
On the water line is part of it too. Okay. George.
George Higgins, Cactus Jacks. What days of the week do you plan on doing work? Is it Monday through Friday? Are you guys on government schedule Monday through Thursday? Or is it 7 days?
For the majority of the work, it's going to be Monday through Friday.
Okay, and now on that 10-day?
On the 10 days.
10 straight days, or are you going to take a weekend off?
No, it's 10 straight
10
days.
straight days.
I mean, depending on where it all lines out, it's anticipated to start on, let's say, a Friday and continue through the following Sunday. And Saturdays and Sundays being worked that whole time.
With the exception of there will be a 3 or 4 day window where construction is shut down. We're waiting for that road to cure out. So
There'll be no traffic.
there'll be no
No traffic
traffic.
at that time, right there.
Hi, David Schreiber, down on Carson Street. Got a question for you on, I'm having new water, new sewer run into my building. You guys are, at this point, I'm going through some retrofitting on my building also, so I'm just wondering, are you gonna require that I hook up my water when you stub my water out and stub my sewer up? Do I have to hook it up then, or can it be just stubbed under my building and I can hook it up when I'm done doing my remodel?
It'd be ideal if we could do it all at the same time, but,
Well, once it comes to my building, it's up to me anyway, right?
yeah.
Once it's under my stoop, and after we just get it, I guess I'm wondering, are you gonna require that I hook my sewer up? Because I have to, my sewer now, as we've talked, it runs out and underneath Mercury cleaners and all that, so I have to change everything.
We just want to make sure we cap it outside the sidewalk, so you're not tearing out the new sidewalk, but if you're inside the building or right inside the stoop there, then we'll just, the water surface will be shut off until such time as the the new piping is connected and the sewer
My
ran.
water comes off Curry too, it's an odd setup, so I guess I'm hoping that you could just stub everything into my basement, have it all capped off, and then when I get ready, then I can just hook it all up and have you guys come back out. Is that
Yeah.
gonna be an issue at all? I kinda have a weird situation, I think, for a lot of you guys, so.
Yeah, I think we can make that work.
I just want to add, we want to make sure we do have a cap on that sewer stuff, because otherwise we get sewer gas, and that's bad problems.
I'll make sure, at least I'll have a, yeah, plus, you don't wanna push too long, because you are going into hunting season, you gotta realize that, right?
It isn't
That's
bad,
fine, it's
right?
not shown on their calendar, but it's here.
They've got chucker hunting season October 8th, so, you know.
Hi, Dana Friend with Nevada Day, and one of the questions that we have in our planning, because we need to talk to Cox and Jim and Bella Peoria and them, is will the stage be already in Nevada Plaza down there for Nevada Day? And
Yes.
and so we will work with the city on all of the things for that, because we want to be able to extend not only our Telegraph Square block party, but we
Mark,
want
how
to
you
go
doing?
down there and work with the businesses down there, because we want to bring and celebrate the fact that this is open and done and coordinate with everybody there. So it will be up and running.
Yes.
Okay.
And one more thing to just mention for everybody about McFadden Plaza is the McFadden family, as part of their donation, they want to host a big party there with the beneficiary being some of the school district stuff. So their vision is, hey, it's going to be kind of that July timeframe construction. Let's have a big party. Let's kick this off. Look what we're going to have here for the rest of the corridor, so that McFadden Plaza will be kicked off too.
And you have a question? I'm Jeb Block, the state agent at Transfer, right behind that pen now. All the trees that are coming out, the purple locust, I mean, we should have to throw a party for that. Is there a guarantee that there's going to be better planting of trees than a purple robe locust that has a life expectancy of 12 years, but it's been there 19? And with that said, with that garbage taken away, what about all the plants and everything else that have grown and matured, and plum trees and things like that? Are they going to get relocated from planters to the north? Are people going to have the opportunity to get them, or are we just put them in the 20-yarder?
So the tree planting, the benefit we have is a lot of the park staff that was around when some of those were planted already are on that and gave comments to not place some of those trees that are weak and fragile and don't last that long. I think we're transplanting 13 trees out of there's 17 or 18 in the medians. 13 of them are getting transplanted, so 12 of them are going to Centennial Park. And Parks is working on a grant to also get some ADA improvements done there all at the same time. That and then one of the trees going to Mills Park. The miscellaneous bushes and plants and stuff. We've had a couple of requests for that. If there's large enough, maybe we can coordinate digging them out. And obviously there's got to be somebody there to grab them when we rip them out. Otherwise they would then go to the landfill.
Can I just go out in the middle of the night and pick them up in front of my place?
Let's not do that. Let's coordinate something.
You should have said anything.
Real
It wasn't me.
Where's Katie? Smooth.
Theoretically, if somebody wanted.
I won't be down there inspecting it. If somebody were to do that, they should be very careful and make sure that nobody gets hit.
Be very careful, and they're very careful. I am always very
Okay. Let's talk about, can you raise that? A couple things that we've been able to put in place. We've got the carsonproud.com website. There's an info@carsonproud.com email. We've got the email list that we'll add to the email blast, the weekly downtown cone zone. There's also the construction map on there, the live Google map. You've got live chat on there. Q&Ds guys are going to be down in front of your business every day, so Mark hit them up with chat with. We've got text notifications too, and I don't know which number you text, but it's on carsonproud.com. You text Carson Proud to a certain number, and you get a text notification weekly. What else we got? Here's the number that I was trying to put up here. we've got a hotline. So we're gonna set up, it's 283-7056.
I got that one.
And that will be, that's a place to leave a voicemail and get a call back within 24 hours. And what we're gonna do is that is automatically gonna get forwarded to me, Will from Q&D, and Mike Bennett, and maybe some other folks, so that we make sure we can get on some of those issues. So if you don't like the live chat or the website or the email, we've got the phone number. Also, we have, how many people know about Carson Connect? Okay, so I'm going to give you, everybody else here, another thing is, on carson.org in the top right, whether it's Carson Street or a pothole or weeds or whatever else is going on in town, Carson Connect, upper right, you can submit, there's frequently asked questions by topic, and then you can submit a request. If you see a pothole that you want fixed, if there's, not that Q&D's going to do this, but if the street guy's mean to you and you need to tell Q&D what's going on, carsonConnect.com, top right. So that's, and then there's an app with that. So this is citywide stuff. So if you've got a traffic light that's out or a street light that's out, so Carson Connect, top right here. And there's a little video somewhere on the webpage right here.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube
On YouTube.
and on our Facebook page.
Okay. So there's a little video on, hey, how do I do that? Or there's an app. Scroll down a little bit. You can grab an app for your phone, Android. So that's one way. You got the app. You got the live chat. You got the call in. You got text. What else? Facebook, email, Twitter. We cover them all. Instagram.
D-Router at Carson.org.
D-Router. I'll put it up there.
It says downtown the subject, he's gonna forward it to me.
Or info@carsonproud.com. That's where the email blast will come from. Facebook.com/CarsonProud. Okay.
And if somebody wasn't here and wants to get on the email blast, who should they contact?
We've got a list going around.
If they're not here.
So if they're not here, just forward an email to info@carsonproud.com.
Okay.
There's also a form on carsonproud.com that you can, under the Cone Zone tab, that you can go ahead and fill out that form too, and it'll get forwarded.
Okay,
So
then
either
we'll
way.
get them on the list. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. But thanks for all coming down. I know your time is very important, so thank you, and we'll be around here too.